For 4,500 years, one single structure has pretty much dominated our imagination, the Great Pyramid of Giza. We're talking about a 6 million ton, 40-story tall beast of engineering that honestly still baffles the experts. And all of that leads to one really fascinating question.
So let's really think about this. With all of our modern tech, GPS, massive cranes, computers, could we actually pull off a perfect replica? You'd think it would be a piece of cake, but as you're about to see, the reality is, well, it's an unbelievably complex and crazy expensive challenge.
Before we even get to the how, we have to ask why. The ancient Egyptians had this incredibly powerful religious drive. They were building a literal stairway to the heavens for their god king. We just don't have that kind of unifying purpose. But hey, for the sake of this incredible thought experiment, let's just say we do. Let's get this project started.
All right, first things first. Before we can even think about stacking stones, we have to prep the site. And this isn't just about clearing a bit of sand. Nope, we have to create a foundation that can hold up 6 million tons for like the next 4,000 years.
I mean, the ancients were geniuses. They probably carved a network of channels, filled them with water, and boom, a perfectly level base right on the bedrock. Today, of course, we'd use laser-guided bulldozers to get it perfect down to the millimeter. But here's the crazy part. Modern engineers wouldn't trust just bedrock. For a monster this heavy, we would absolutely insist on a massive, reinforced concrete foundation.
And this, right here, is where the price tag starts to get, well, wild. Just buying 13 acres on the Giza Plateau and getting the permits, that could easily be $120 million. Then you need seismic scans to make sure there aren't any hidden cracks in the bedrock. And that foundation we just talked about, a 4-meter thick slab of solid concrete, is going to set you back a staggering $400 million.
And just like that, we are over $500 million in the hole. Think about that. We spent more than it costs to build many modern skyscrapers, and we haven't placed a single solitary stone yet. This really sets the stage for the scale of what's coming next.
Okay, so foundation's done. Now for the raw materials. We need a mind-boggling amount of stone, and it all has to be cut with perfect precision. This is where the real industrial challenge kicks in. Look at that number. 2.3 million individual blocks of stone. Now, most of these weigh a few tons, but some of them, like the huge granite beams inside the king's chamber, weigh up to 80 tons apiece. So how on earth do you even begin to cut that many blocks?
Well, here's a fun fact. A single modern stone-cutting factory could do it, but it would take them 63 years. So to hit our 5-year project timeline, we'd need to go big. We're talking about buying and running 250 industrial saws 24/7. That means our quarry has to pump out over 1,200 perfectly cut blocks every single day.
And the power to do all that? Well, running those saws around the clock would suck up 20 megawatts of electricity. To put that into perspective for you, that's enough juice to power an entire small city. Just for cutting stones, we'd probably have to build our own dedicated power plant. It's just an amazing contrast to the ancients, who used incredible human power instead of an electrical grid. And would you look at that tally? It just skyrockets. The machinery alone is $25 million. The stone itself, all that limestone and granite, is over $1 billion. And the electric bill for 5 years, a cool $155 million. We just blew past the entire construction cost of the Burj Khalifa. Okay, so we've cut our mountain of stone. Fantastic. Now we have to move it. All 6 million tons of it. And let me tell you, this isn't just a moving job. This is probably the biggest overland transport operation in all of human history. Let's just try to wrap our heads around this. We need to move 6 million tons of rock 900 kilometers from the quarry in Aswan. That works out to an absolutely insane 240,000 truckloads. To make that happen, you need a fleet of 500 heavy-duty trucks on the road at all times. The pace would just be relentless. A new truck would have to show up at the construction site every 10 minutes, 24 hours a day for 5 years straight. It's a logistical nightmare. And the price tag for this colossal convoy? At least another $200 million. And get this, that probably doesn't even include road taxes, which would be massive. So now we're creeping up on $2 billion. And the pyramid is still just a giant pile of blocks sitting next to a concrete slab. So here we are. We've made it to the most dangerous, the most technically demanding, and let's be honest, the most iconic phase of the whole project, actually lifting those blocks and placing them with millimeter precision over 140 meters up in the air.
This right here is the heart of the problem. We have to lift blocks that weigh as much as an Abrams tank. 80 tons all the way up to the king's chamber. So, what modern machine can do that? The simple and kind of shocking answer is none. Not a single one.
It really just comes down to a basic law of physics. The longer a crane's arm is, the higher its reach, the less weight it can safely lift at the very end. It's all about leverage. There's no single mobile crane on planet Earth that has both the reach and the strength to do this job. The only solution would be this incredibly complex, custom-built network of specialized tower cranes that we'd have to build and take apart as the pyramid got taller.
A custom crane network like that, you'd be looking at $300 million just to rent and operate it for 5 years. And then, of course, there's the people. You'd need a crew of about 3,000 skilled workers, engineers, masons, operators. That's another $400 million in salaries and insurance over the life of the project.
We've done it. We've prepped the ground, we've cut the stone, we've moved it, and we've stacked it. The structure is basically built. But we're not quite done yet. The original pyramid had one more feature, a final touch that would have made it truly breathtaking.
That's right. The sandy-colored pyramid we see today. That's just the inner core. Originally, the whole thing was covered in 115,000 highly polished, brilliant white limestone blocks. This casing would have made the entire pyramid gleam in the sun, a smooth, shining beacon you could see for miles around.
Putting that beautiful final casing on would cost us another $250 million. So let's just look at the final bill, shall we? You've got the land and foundation at over $500 million. The materials and quarrying are over $1 billion all by themselves. Then add in transport, labor, cranes, and that finishing touch. It all adds up fast.
In the grand total, comes to just shy of $3 billion. And honestly, that's probably a lowball estimate. It doesn't include stuff like taxes or administrative overhead or the cost of building our own power plant. The real cost would likely be way, way higher.
You know, this quote from the famous archaeologist Zahi Hawass just hits the nail on the head. Building the pyramid wasn't just some construction project. It was this massive national undertaking that literally organized and unified an entire civilization. It focused their whole economy, their engineering, their manpower on a single goal for a generation. Which brings us all the way back to that first problem we talked about, purpose. $3 billion today could build you a state-of-the-art stadium, a massive power plant, or even an entire man-made island. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. In our modern world, what project would be so important, so unifying, that we'd pour that kind of money and effort into building it? What is our pyramid?